Have you ever found yourself scrolling through your phone, wondering why you don't feel like calling that old friend back? Or maybe you've sat through a gathering, nodding along, but secretly wishing you were home with a good book? If so, you're not alone. Today we're talking about something many of us feel but rarely say out loud. You don't need friends after 70, at least not the way you once did. Now, before you think I'm telling you to shut everyone out, let me be clear. This isn't about loneliness, it's about freedom. The freedom to let go of friendships that drain you, obligations that exhaust you, and expectations that no longer fit the life you want to live. By the end of this video, you'll see why stepping back from social pressure might just be the key to your happiest, most fulfilling years yet. Let's start with the first reason. Reason 1, you've already proven yourself to everyone that matters. Think back to your 30s or 40s. How much energy did you spend worrying about what others thought? The networking events, the family gatherings, the endless effort to be liked? By 70, you've earned the right to retire from all that. Take Harold, a 72-year-old former teacher. For decades, his social life revolved around colleagues and parents' groups. But after retiring, he realized those friendships were built on convenience, not connection. The lunches, the small talk, it all felt like a chore. So he stopped. Instead, he filled his days with woodworking, long walks, and volunteering at the library. And guess what? For the first time, he felt seen, not for his role as a teacher or a friend, but for who he truly was. Here's the thing. You've already lived a life full of relationships that shaped you. Now it's time to shape your life around you. You don't need to prove your worth over coffee dates or group texts. Your worth is already written in the decades of love, work, and wisdom you've shared. Let that be enough. Reason 2, peace becomes your greatest luxury. Remember when a quiet house felt lonely? For many of us, that changes as we age. The noise of socializing, the chatter, the gossip, the effort, starts to feel less like joy and more like a tax on your peace. Margaret, 74, learned this the hard way. She spent years hosting bridge nights and book clubs, convinced that a full calendar meant a full heart. But over time, those gatherings left her drained. The same stories, the same complaints. It all started to feel like a broken record. One day, she canceled her weekly lunch plans, turned off her phone, and spent the afternoon tending her roses. That silence? It wasn't empty, it was rich. Now, I'm not saying you should ghost your loved ones, but imagine this. A morning where you're not rushing to meet someone else's expectations. An evening where your only obligation is to your own comfort. That's not loneliness, it's liberation, and it's yours for the taking. Now maybe you're thinking, but what if people think I'm rude? Let me ask you this. How many years have you spent worrying about what others think? Isn't it time to prioritize what you think? Of course, this isn't about burning bridges. It's about gently setting down the weight of friendships that feel more like habit than heart. And here's the magic. When you stop pouring energy into relationships that drain you, you'll have so much more to give to the ones that truly matter, whether that's family, a lifelong friend, or even yourself. But we're just getting started. Up next, we'll talk about why fewer friends mean fewer disappointments and how your time, your precious time, becomes the greatest gift you can give yourself. Until then, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt freed by letting go of a friendship? Or maybe you're still wrestling with guilt over saying no? Share your story below. It might just inspire someone else to choose peace. And if this resonated with you, hit like and subscribe. Together, let's redefine what it means to live fully, fiercely, and unapologetically you. Now let's talk about something we've all felt but rarely name: the quiet relief of fewer disappointments. Think about it. How many times have you reached out to someone only to be met with silence? Or realized you're always the one making plans? By 70, you've earned the right to stop chasing relationships that leave you feeling like an afterthought. Take William, 78. For years, he poured energy into friendships that felt like one-way streets. Birthday calls he initiated, lunches he planned, conversations he kept alive. But when he needed support during a health scare, crickets. At first it hurt, then it clicked. Letting go wasn't about losing friends. It was about gaining peace. He stopped bending backward for people who wouldn't lean forward, and guess what? The world didn't end. Instead, he found space for the relationships that did matter, like his granddaughter, who calls every Sunday just to hear his stories. Here's the truth. Friendships aren't obligations. They're choices. And after 70, you get to choose you. No more biting your tongue to keep the peace. No more nodding along to gossip that leaves a bitter taste. Just quiet mornings where your phone isn't a leash and your energy isn't siphoned by someone else's drama. But there's another layer to this freedom, one that's even sweeter. Reason 4. Your time is the most precious gift you'll ever give yourself. Let's be honest. How many hours have you spent at gatherings you didn't enjoy, smiling at jokes that didn't land, or listening to complaints that weren't yours to fix? Time isn't just money, friend. It's life. And at this stage, every minute counts. Take Richard, 82. He used to fill his calendar with weekly card games and coffee meetups. But one rainy Tuesday, he caught himself dreading yet another afternoon of recycled stories and lukewarm tea. So he canceled. Instead, he spent the day rereading his favorite novel, making his late wife's apple pie recipe, and writing a letter to his great-grandson. By sunset, he felt something he hadn't in years. Rich. Not in money, but in moments. That's the magic of reclaiming your time. It's not about being selfish. It's about being selective. Every no to a draining obligation is a yes to what truly fills your soul. A walk in the park with no rush, a hobby you've put off for decades, or even just a nap in your favorite chair. Guilt-free. Now I know what you might be thinking, but won't people think I'm rude? Let me ask you this. How many years have you spent being polite at the cost of your joy? Politeness fades. Regret doesn't. This isn't about burning bridges. It's about building boundaries, gently, firmly, with the grace of someone who knows their worth. And here's the surprise. When you stop scattering your time like confetti, you'll find the people who truly matter stick around. The ones who call you, who show up, who love you not for what you do, but for who you are. But the most beautiful part? This is just the beginning. Up next, we'll explore how true companionship starts within, and why letting go isn't an ending, but a doorway to the life you've always deserved. Until then, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever reclaimed time by stepping back from a friendship, or discovered joy in an old hobby you'd forgotten? Share your story below. It might be the nudge someone needs to choose themselves. And if this resonated, hit like and subscribe. Let's keep rewriting the rules of aging, one fearless no at a time. Let's talk about the most surprising truth of all. The greatest companionship you'll ever find is already inside you. For years, we're taught that being alone means being lonely. But what if I told you solitude can be the richest relationship you'll ever nurture? Take Eleanor, 76. After decades of filling her days with social clubs and group trips, she realized she'd forgotten what she actually enjoyed. One day she canceled her calendar, bought a sketch pad, and spent a week drawing the birds in her backyard. No small talk, no agendas, just her, the rustle of leaves, and the joy of rediscovering her own voice. She told me, for the first time, I felt like I was meeting myself, and I really liked her. That's the power of turning inward. When you stop outsourcing your happiness to others, you uncover a wellspring of creativity, curiosity, and calm you never knew existed. You don't need someone else to validate your thoughts or entertain your ideas. You become your own best friend. And that friendship, it lasts a lifetime. Reason 6. Letting go isn't an ending. It's a door to the life you've earned. Imagine this, a life where every interaction is a choice, not a chore. Where your energy isn't spent managing other people's expectations, but investing in what lights your soul on fire. James, 79, lived this shift. For years, he clung to friendships that felt like leftovers from a life he'd outgrown. Then one morning, he decided to stop. No dramatic farewells, just a quiet shift toward the things that mattered. Restoring his father's old fishing boat, writing poetry, and savoring slow mornings with his terrier, Max. The result? He didn't lose friends. He gained clarity. The right people, the ones who loved his stories, his silence, His real self stayed. The rest, they became footnotes in a story he was finally authoring himself. Here's the beautiful part. Letting go isn't about loss. It's about legacy. The legacy of your time, your joy, your hard-won peace. At 70 and beyond, you've earned the right to prune what no longer serves you, to make space for the relationships and passions that do. Think of it like tending a garden. You wouldn't let weeds choke your roses, right? So why let draining friendships crowd out the life you're meant to bloom? Every no to obligation is a yes to authenticity. Every quiet morning is a love letter to the person you've become. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. Letting go can feel like shedding skin, raw, vulnerable, even scary. But here's what I've learned. The people who thrive after 70 aren't the ones with the most friends. They're the ones brave enough to choose themselves. To say, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. To trade crowded rooms for the sacred silence where life's deepest joys take root. So tonight, if you find yourself staring at the phone, dreading another obligatory call, pause. Ask yourself, is this how I want to spend my one wild, precious life? If the answer's no, that's okay. You're not being selfish. You're being soulful. And that's a gift to yourself and to those who truly deserve you. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Aging isn't about shrinking. It's about expanding into the person you've always been beneath the roles and routines. You don't need permission to live life on your terms. You've already earned it. If this series sparks something in you, I'd love to hear your story. How have you embraced independence? What's one friendship or habit you've released? And what grew in its place? Share below. Your words might be the courage someone needs to choose their joy. And if you found value here, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs it. Together, let's prove that life after 70 isn't about fading, it's about flourishing. Thank you for trusting me with your time. Now go water your own garden, friend. The world needs what's uniquely yours to grow. If this resonated with you, hit like and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss our next video. Until then, keep cherishing every moment. Here's to better health, stronger legs, and a life full of movement. See you in the next video.